Hi, it's Toby from Heavywgt MMA. Today with Volk's training partner, MMA fighter Colby Thicknesse from Freestyle MMA Gym. Talking about UFC 276, our quick picks for my favorite fights. Have a listen. Okay, Jalin Turner, obviously a very dangerous fighter on his way up against Brad Riddell, who's the consummate professional, super high-level striking honed by years and years of fighting in the kickboxing circuit. I like both guys. One's from the region. One's a guy that talks to me. So I'm sitting on the fence. Over to you, bro. What do you got?
I think we're going to see Brad come out and stay nice within himself, get the reads early. When the takedown opportunities present himself, I think he's going to capitalize it. And I think he's just going to be a little bit too much everywhere for Jalin. I think his experience on the feet will be too much, and he has the grappling and wrestling to fall back on. I think we're going to see Brad get the decision victory.
Okay, so we got Jessie Rose-Clark versus Julija Stoliarenko. Julia is obviously good at submissions on the ground. She's great off her back. She's got a bit of a stand-up game, but it seems a little bit slow, and that's where I think Jessica's going to take over. She's got more athleticism. She's faster. She's a bit tougher in the clinch. I think she's going to throw more punches, going to clinch against the cage, control her on the ground, and look for a points win. What about you, bro?
I think Jessica's going to be too much on her feet to begin with. Then I think Julia's going to probably try and look to initiate the grappling exchanges where she thinks she's going to have the biggest advantage. I think her main advantage will be if she's actually on the bottom throwing at subs, but that plays into what Jessie's good at with the ground and pound, mostly controlling those. So I think we're going to see Jessie Rose-Clark get a pretty dominant 3-round decision.
Okay, so we've got Pedro Munoz versus Sean O'Malley. Pedro Munoz, great grappling ability, brown belt in judo, BJJ black belt. Fought against some of the greats. You're talking about Cruz, Aldo, Rivera, Sterling, Garbrandt. Sean O'Malley, great range. He's great in the stand-up, expecting him to keep a distance. But on the odds, Munoz 3-1, Sean O'Malley 1.38-1. I think Munoz is a better bet. So if I'm betting on this one, I'm betting on Munoz just from his experience in grappling prowess. Sean O'Malley could well take it using his range very well, but let's see.
I think what we're going to see is we're going to see Sean come out and establish his range and distance pretty early. I think he's going to make Pedro desperate to come in for the shots. If Pedro gets him down, I think that's going to be the biggest factor if Sean can get up and initiate the scrambles fairly quickly. If he does, I can see him capturing Pedro, really getting desperate for takedowns later on. I think he may get a second round TKO finish.
Okay, Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira. I say Pereira, of course, is an amazing striker, but not enough for the well-rounded MMA fighter that Strickland is. Pereira's 2 wins weren't so clear. I'm thinking Strickland has some big-time wins, more experience at the top of MMA, and can throw in grappling, dirty boxing, high work rate, and edge out in a decision at the end. What do you think, man?
I think Strickland's experience and sort of grittiness will be the biggest factor in this fight. I think if he gets it done, which I think he shall, it will be by a sort of grindy decision. Look to get him on the fence, put him on his back, get his arms and leg heavy, really sap some of that explosiveness out of him, and really try and slow the pace over 15 minutes and just stay safe and do enough to win the fight like that.
Okay, Volkanovski versus Holloway. Volk's won twice. Why are we even having this fight? I'm not sure. Volk's also improving, more power, more understanding of the game. Max's war damage, like you said, great overall skills, great boxing, great grappling defense. But I hope that Volk can utilize his feinting, increase power, and also take a few more takedowns and clinch to slow Max down. And I think he'll win by decision, but I'm not ruling out a KO as his power is increasing. What about you, bro?
Obviously, there's going to be a bit of bias, so everybody watching takes it with a grain of salt. I'm a teammate, but I think Volk is just on another level at the moment from the rest of the division. I think we're going to sort of see the showcasing of a complete martial artist, whereas Holloway is great, but I think he relies a little bit too heavily on his chin in combinations, and I think Volker cracks pretty hard, and I think this might be the one which sort of puts Holloway away for good.
Okay, so Israel Adesanya versus Jared Cannonier. There's no doubting that Cannonier is a scary fighter, man, mostly KO wins, but he is a striker and he's against the more experienced striker. Izzy over 100 fights versus around 20 fights. I think Izzy's going to stand back first round, pick off the legs like he does. He won't be afraid of the grapple if it comes, like you mentioned. Round 2 and afterwards, you'll start to land strong shots, keeping range because Jared's dangerous. But I'm actually picking around 3 KO, man. I just think he's going to be too good and he's going to get in there and land some big shots as we move in. He gets more comfortable with Cannonier. What do you think, bro?
I think it's a big test for Jared. I think he's going to really need to have a perfect night if he does want to get the job done. I think someone like Izzy, he's just too polished, he's too technical. The skill gap's going to be too big on the feet. I think he's just going to control the distance, point him away. That being said, Cannonier is very tough. Izzy may get a finish, but I'm going to lean more towards the unanimous decision.